Hi, I'm Travis, and you're watching Curious Tangents. And society has always had this kind of obsession with fear. But we also love to form coalitions against that thing that frightens us. Maybe it makes us feel powerful or something of the sort. Especially America and its short history, we love to frighten ourselves. And it shows in the media that we choose to make. For instance, zombies. In ancient Greece, these creatures were called mirrorless. However, current American zombies don't appear to be based upon these ancient undead Greek zombies. Rather, American zombies came from Haiti. But why? Why do we propagate zombies? Frankenstein and Dracula both predate the origin of the zombie, yet we make far more zombie movies than we do vampire or whatever Frankenstein is movies. The history of zombies ends up being filled with racism, colonialism, Nazis, and of course, fear. Let's begin. Our story begins in Africa with the religion of Voodon, a religion that was frequently practiced in the western part of the continent. When the French took men and women from West Africa as slaves and transported them to Haiti, that religion became what we know now as Voodoo. In the late 18th century, Haiti would win its independence from France, and in winning its independence, it became demonized by the rest of the Western world, and part of that demonization was the sensationalization of Voodon, which would then become the voodoo that is seen in popular media. Though voodoo is often shown in media as having black magic, witch doctors, and zombies, which we'll talk about in a second, the actual religion had nothing to do with that. Before the revolution, slave owners in Haiti taught their slaves that if they died by suicide, they would come back and be forced to work eternally. This is the earliest remnant of a zombie that we can find. In Haiti, there was no fear around zombies themselves, they were harmless. They didn't fear zombies, they feared becoming them. In the 1980s, Harvard ethnobiologist Wayne Davis would go to Haiti to investigate the so-called zombie powder. Although his research was a bit shaky and unethical to say the least as he desecrated graves, his research would be published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology in 1983. He would document how the mixture contained tree frogs, toads, burned and crushed human bones, and pufferfish. The pufferfish are the main ingredient here, as they contain tetrodotoxin, a neurotoxin that can cause the body to permanently or temporarily shut down. The reason why Davis went to Haiti in the first place was because of a man named Clairvius Narcisse. He walked into a rural village in 1980. The problem was that he died in 1964. He claimed that in the 16 years between his death and entering the village, he had been forced to work on a sugar plantation. He also claimed that his sibling had him turned into a zombie after he refused to sell his portion of the family lands. Today, it's common consensus that this was a case of mistaken identity, but let's go back a bit further. In the 1920s, a man named William C. Brooke, who, if you use the term very lightly, can be considered a journalist, went to Haiti to report on the American occupation. What he actually left Haiti with was a book called The Magic Island. The book that Seabrook wrote was rather eccentric. Seabrook claimed to have seen zombies working in the fields at what was the Haitian American Sugar Company. The book that he wrote would be the first mention of zombies in American culture. 3 years after the release of the book, and 1 year after the Dracula and Frankenstein films were made, The White Zombie would hit theaters. The plot of the movie was a white couple being possessed by a voodoo master. Zombies would become increasingly popular in the US as time went on. In 1943, Revenge of the Zombie tells the story of a doctor who's secretly a Nazi and finds a way to turn the dead into an army that would serve Hitler. In 1954, the Comic Corps illustrates how the Soviets discovered the ability to raise the undead in their attempts to establish the United World Zombie Organization. Over the years, zombies have been used by the media to portray the fear of losing the space race, atomic bombs, the civil rights movement, or the Vietnam War, until eventually we arrive at the virus zombie. From the 40s to the, well, now, We have been terrified of contagious diseases such as polio, Ebola, AIDS, and SARS. In 1996, the video game Resident Evil was released, detailing how a pharmaceutical company developed a mutant virus that could bring the dead back to life. In 2011, the CDC even released the Preparedness 101 Zombie Apocalypse Guide, a how-to guide on preparing for a worldwide pandemic. Yeah. In 2012, Polish architect Robert, I cannot pronounce your last name, built the Zombie Bunker, a $17.5 million project designed to keep out nuclear blast and zombies. Today, pretty much anyone can buy a zombie apocalypse survival kit on Amazon. The zombie apocalypse serves as a great form of escapism. Going through what-if scenarios of what you would do if a zombie apocalypse happened is far better than thinking about your actual problems, and it makes the actual problems and fears that we have to deal with on a daily basis look small in comparison. For the past 100 years, zombies have served as a metaphor for what we fear. So, what is it that we are fearing now? Let's take Walking Dead, for example. The thing that's really scary here isn't the zombies, or walkers as they're called. The thing that's frightening is the people. In The Walking Dead, season through season, the most terrifying and problematic thing aren't really the zombies, it's the people. Whether hoarding resources, forming cults, hunting people themselves, or feeding people to zombies for entertainment, the real scary thing is what a person can do when pushed to the edge. And thank you for watching. Hi, so two things. One, this was a Halloween themed episode and I'm not releasing it on Halloween because it's late and I'm sorry. Two, I looked at an interview with the creator of The Walking Dead a little bit after I shot this, and he said that the zombies in the series are caused by alien spores, which essentially means that the zombie apocalypse was caused by an alien invasion in that show, which is pretty interesting. But anyway, like this video if you like this video, and I'll see you next time.